Welcome back to the Work-Life Balance Summit, Design a Faith-Filled Life. Today, I am here with Dr. Holly Wyatt. I am so excited to see you.
I'm excited to be here. This is awesome.
Dr. Wyatt, or Dr. Holly, as people refer to you, earned her medical degree from Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, and she completed her internal medicine of endocrinology training at the University of Colorado. She's been involved in the field of obesity, weight management, and metabolism her entire career, and personally struggled with her own weight and maintaining a reduced healthy body weight earlier in life. She's a practicing physician and clinical research at Ann Schutz Health and Wellness Center in Aurora, Colorado, and is a co-founder and medical director for the State of Slim, a transformative weight loss program that specializes in the long-term strategies for weight loss and transforming life. And you may recognize Dr. Holly because she was the medical director for the season 4 and 5 of ABC's TV show Extreme Weight Loss. She has more than 20 years of clinical experience in weight reduction using behavioral treatments, dietary therapy, physical activity interventions, weight loss, medications, and surgery. She also shares much of what she has learned in her research and her experience in her book, State of Slim, which is also co-authored by James O'Hill. And she's the co-founder and manager of Shakabuku, LLC, a company whose mission is to remove barriers to bring out everyone's inherent greatness. Welcome.
Hi. Great. Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And I have to admit, Holly and I grew up in the same town in Texas. And so we've known each other for a while. And the fact that she's in...
We didn't just go up in the same town. We went to high school together.
We went to high school together. And junior high too. Yeah. And the reason I wanted Holly here is I've been following her a while on social media, and she has a great story. And she is so passionate about health, and health is so important to work-life balance. But I would love to hear from you, Holly, or Dr. Holly. How do you live a more intentional life to achieve that work-life balance?
That's something that I have definitely struggled with. I think, doctors, physicians, everybody, but as physicians, we are always about go, 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 go. For me, it's really been a work in progress, but what I've been doing recently and where I've kind of moved with this is I try to live kind of on purpose, which I mean with intention, so I don't just let life happen to me. I try to live on purpose with purpose. What I mean by that is what's important to me with my purpose, my big why. So on purpose meaning setting my intentions and making sure that it's congruent and it lines up with my big why, the purpose of my life, the meaning, what gives my life meaning to me. And when I do both of those, then I tend to have that balance naturally happens. I'm not saying it's easy, but it more naturally happens. And I've had to work at that. I've had to figure out those types of things. And it's a work in progress, but that's what I'm concentrating on.
So do you evaluate that over a period of time?
Yeah. So one of the real big things for me, and one of the things I teach, but also for me personally, is I've got to check in with myself. I can say that, and then life happens to me. I would call them bumps in the road, meaning things I don't control, things I don't plan. Life happens to me and throws me off a little bit, gets me off my game, gets me off my path. So frequent check-ins where I'm really saying, okay, what am I doing? Am I living on purpose? Am I letting things push me around? Am I controlling what I control, basically? And am I doing things that are important to me, which is my purpose, the things that give my life meaning? Am I including those in my life, or am I letting a lot of other noise get in there and kind of throw me off? So I've got to set in, because I don't necessarily, for me, all I can say is for me, it doesn't happen naturally. I've got to put some effort into doing that. So checking in and reevaluating, absolutely critical for me.
What about obstacles? What do you have to overcome?
Yeah. Bumps in the road, is that what you mean? Everything, right? I mean, big bumps, just things that happen to you that you don't control. And it's about moving through them, getting through them, and And I also talk about them as seeing them as beacons, right? You know, whenever I'm kind of having one of those moments or having a big bump or kind of off plan, it's like, okay, what is this going to teach me? I can see this as something terrible, and sometimes it is. I mean, it's something I didn't want to happen. I recently lost my dog, my baby, you know, been with me for 13 years, huge bump in the road for me, but at least kind of saying, okay, what does this teach me? How will I come out stronger? I have skills that I can get through the bump and get back on my path. But using that almost as a beacon instead of a barrier is something else that I do to kind of keep living that purpose-driven life.
I love what you say about control and just letting go of what we can't control. I imagine that's critical.
So I always have an intention word each year. Last year was soar, which is kind of the word for my company, Shakabuku, helping people soar. I believe everybody was meant to soar. But this year, I was like, okay, I'm going to keep soar because I love that word. That's going to be my word. And I was like, no, and I just, it's not my word. I keep kind of, and the word I kept getting that was my word for this year was to let go. And one word, two words, but let go. And I was like, no, I don't like that word. I want a powerful word. I go, I'm an empowered person. I want a powerful word of how I want to feel. I want to feel, and I kept coming up with these words, and then it was like, no, Holly, that's not it. That's not it. And finally, I was like, the word is let go. And I was like, no, I just don't like that. But then I realized, actually, for me, letting go is power. Letting go of certain things actually gives me, it does empower me, actually gives me power. By letting go of things, I actually am more able to live the life I want to live, which is a powerful thing. So that's been my word this year, is let go.
Very good. I'm proud of you for, like, you know, you can put up a fight, but it is what it is.
I did. I put up a fight for a while. I'm like, I don't know. I got to figure this out.
So how does your expertise contribute to work-life balance?
Yeah, you know, I think all my life has been about helping people lose weight and keep it off in some way, whether it be research doing it or all these kinds of things. And if you've ever heard me talk, I talk a lot about the fact that I spent the first half of my career really studying what people needed to do to be able to lose weight and keep it off. The what. What do you need to eat? How many minutes of activity do you need to do? When should you exercise? How hard should you exercise? You know, how many meals? I mean, all exact what. And I studied people who were successful, and I actually went into their homes and studied what they did. And I kind of had this idea that if I learned what they did, I could put it into a program and share it with people and really help people that are struggling with their weight and struggling with their health from an aspect of their weight. Did that, got marginal results, not what I expected, because I kind of then figured out it's like an aha moment. I thought that was going to solve the problem. I really did. And now I'm like, Holly, that's stupid. How many times do we know what to do, but we don't do it? Right? Mm-hmm. There's the what, and then there's the why. And there's the motivational piece, and there's the why you're going to do it and why you're going to stick with it. And so I spent the second half of my career learning more about the why, the motivation. How do I motivate people to sustain a behavioral change long term? And that comes back to this balance piece. So I think that's kind of how what I do is related to the topic you're talking about, is really this balance piece and figuring out what's really important in your life and how you're going to put that in your life in a way that is sustainable, and what has meaning to you, and how to use that during times when there's bumps in the road and when you're struggling. And that all comes into helping people lose weight and keep it off. It's all kind of mixed together. It can be used in other areas, but it's also something we talk about when I try to help people not just lose the weight, but like I said, keep it off long term.
So a lot of it then, in addition to the technical side of what you consume and your activity, it's also the mindset. And
100%. It's the what is that technical piece. And I always say you've got to have a good what. I always tell people, if you're on the cookie diet, I'm not going to bet on you to Vegas. And if you're on the exercise while I'm sleeping plan for activity, I'm not going to put my tips on you. But that's only half of it. The other piece is this mindset piece. It's this softer piece. It's usually the pieces doctors don't like as much because we can't measure it exactly. At least Western medicine, hasn't as embraced it as much. There's not a blood test for it. but it is that mindset, that motivation, that inspiration, that purpose. You know, what's your big why? What gives yourself, what gives your meaning in your life? What's really important to you? Your core values, all that is kind of in that other bucket.
Mm-hmm.
That's as important as the why. The why's important, but this why and this motivation and this mindset just as important as the why.
I love that. And I think that I love what you said about values, because a lot of people skip over that step in whatever change they're making in their life, whether it's health or career or relationships. But you got to have your core values, and you got to remember them and have them be at the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
And I know that's one of the first steps that when I work with clients, that's what we go through, is an intense value evaluation, if you will. And because if you don't know those, you could be in a relationship that's making you unhappy. You could be missing a step in your health, missing a step in your career, being an unhealthy organization culture-wise. It's so key in all areas of life. So I'm glad you mentioned
Not
that.
only do you need to know them for those reasons, if you know them, you can actually use them to help you moving forward. They're really, really powerful. You know, when you step on someone's core value, you know it because they just go ballistic. A core value is because it is. You believe it because it's part of who you are. And when someone else steps on your core value, usually what happens is way bigger than you were like, whoa, why are they reacting like that? Because you stepped on a core value. And what that has taught me is, wow, that's a powerful behavioral tool. And if I'm trying to get people to change their behaviors long term, I need to be able to tap into their, not mine, but their core values, because that's what's going to motivate them. And my core values aren't their core values. We got to know what their core values are, and then we got to know how to use them so they can use them to live the life they want to live, to incorporate those so it's helping them, you know, and they're using them.
Love that. I love that. That's the nail on the head, is being able to tap into them and partner with them to be able to help them through it.
Yeah. So you got to have awareness, like you're saying. You got to know what they are. If you don't even, have you really never ever done a little bit of a deep dive to figure out what are your core values? And I guarantee you, we all have them, whether we're aware of them or not. People are like, I don't think I have any. I'm like, I guarantee you have some. Don't worry about that. People are like, oh my gosh, I don't have a core. I'm like, yes, you do. You just got to do a little bit of work to figure it out. But once you figure it out, wow, that is so powerful. So totally agree with you.
So tell me a little bit about, I've heard some of your Facebook Lives, and you talk about the yo-yo. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So the yo-yo is kind of the name I've given to the cycle I see in so many people patients who come into my clinic. This idea that people lose weight, regain it, lose it, regain it, do it over and over and over again. And a lot of times when they come into my clinic, they've done that cycle so many times. And so I kind of called that the yo-yo and almost made that the villain. You know, that's what we're fighting against. And yes, the villain the yo-yo is a villain because of the health aspect of it. There's no doubt that, you know, so many people suffer from obesity, and that impacts their health in so many negative ways and keeps them from living their very best life because of that. But what I've found is, yes, that's part of it, but even more important to that, when I see people who've been through the yo-yo and they come into me and the yo-yo's winning, so to speak, their mindset is in that this kind of victim mindset. They start to think they can't succeed. They start to think they're not worth it. They start to think that it wasn't meant to be, that they have no power over this, that this is just, they have to settle. They have to settle for the life they have. And to me, that's really hard. I hate to see that. It must tap into a core value of mine, because I just can't stand to see that. I want to help them with that. So I started calling that the yo-yo, that we have to beat the yo-yo, and that you absolutely can beat the yo-yo, and really talking about it that way, that it's not just the weight loss, it's really preventing that cycle, that yes, negative impacts on your health, but really even more than that, a negative impact on your mind and how you perceive yourself and perception. And just that internal piece that can be devastating to people and really keep you sitting on the sidelines. And that's what I hate. I think we're all meant to get out there and thrive and to soar. I would say more than thrive, to soar. And that yo-yo keeps people from doing it. So that's why I talk about the yo-yo. I think it gives it some personality that we can kind of rally against.
What about, can you give one or two strategies about how you fight the villain or the yo-yo?
Yeah, so I have actually been doing a 8-week or an 8-part series on I call them superpowers to beat the yo-yo. So we've been doing one of those on the Dr. Holly page every couple of weeks and going over that. But let me give you an example. So the first one is we talk about beginning with the end in mind. So no matter what you're going to do, try to lose weight or try to get more sleep or try to reduce stress, whatever kind of behavioral change you're trying to do, and you want it to be long term. You don't want it to yo-yo. Even, the yo-yo really works for weight, but it works really with anything. And I always said that the superpower to beat the yo-yo is you've got to begin with the end in mind. No one ever wants to do that when they come into my. They're like, Holly, I don't want to think about the actual lose weight now. I'll worry about what I need to do to keep it off or to, for this to be long term. Just get the weight off. And I'm saying that is a big mistake. You've got to do some work up front before you even, the first thing they ask me is, what should I eat? I'm like, we're not even close to telling you what to eat yet, or to talk about what you should eat yet, because we're going to begin with the end in mind. And part of what that is knowing where you want to go. I call it point B, kind of looking where you want to go. You don't have to know exactly all the steps, but having some intention and knowing that point B is super important to you. It's point B, and I always say point B is how you want to live, be, feel. It's about how you want your life to be. It's really not about a certain amount of pounds lost. It's about after you lose a certain amount of pounds, how do you want to feel, be, or live? So we've got to be really clear about that. We've got to make sure it's important, and we've got to be working to set it up so that when you're at point B, it's as easy as possible to maintain the weight loss or maintain whatever behavior you're trying to do. So that's what I mean by beginning with the end in mind. So that's an example of a superpower that I talked about in terms of beating the yo-yo, is to begin with the end in mind.
I love that. I love that. And, you see a lot with, I know some people don't believe in vision boards and things like that, but if you're a visual person, to have a picture of the end in mind and for any of your goals, whatever they are, whether it's health or something else, is to be able to visualize what that looks like when you get there.
Yeah. Because it's really about a feeling. It's about an emotion. And I think pictures sometimes can bring out an emotional feeling. For most people, better than words. Most of us can't write, but some people who are great writers can do it.
Yeah.
But for most of us, a picture can give us an emotional feeling of how we want to be. And emotions are so much stronger than logic, than words on a piece of paper. And like I said, it may be that I want to wear this swimsuit or I want to be 10 pounds lighter, but really that's tied to how you want to feel, be, or live. And so you got to get a little deeper than that. And I love vision boards. I do them all the time because it can get me in that emotional place. And I always say marketing people know that emotions are what sells. So why aren't we just doing that for ourselves, right? We're wanting to get to point B. Let's use our emotions to get us there. And I think a vision board helps do that.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your generosity today and sharing these tips. And I know that you also have a free gift, which kind of expands on what we're talking about. And it's called the 8 Superpower Strategies to Stop the Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
So can you expand a little bit on that?
Yeah, so if you go to my website, there will be a button you can push that will say download, and it's a PDF. It's really a summary of what I've been doing for the last 8 to 10 weeks on the Dr. Holly Facebook page live. It's free, but it'll summarize the 8 powers, the 8 things that I think are important in helping stop the yo-yo, beating that yo-yo. And even though it is geared for people who are trying to lose weight and keep it off, the superpowers really work for any behavior that you're trying to do and sustain long term. So even if you don't have a weight problem, there's actually a lot of good tactic strategies in that free PDF of the 8 superpowers. So
that's great.
I love that.
And if they want to, your Facebook page too, I want to encourage people to go to your Facebook. Is it a group or is it a page?
Yeah, it's a public figure, Dr. Holly public figure Facebook page out there. So it's not a private group or anything. So you can just look me up and you can get on there. And that's what I do, where I do the Facebook lives. And they're actually taped. I mean, you know how they look. Yeah. I do live, but then they stay on there. So you can actually watch those. Or this PDF, if you go to the website. And the website actually is www.stateofslim.com. That's where the PDF will be sitting, and you can download that for free. So I'd love you on I would love you on my Facebook page, and I would love for you to have the PDF.
Great. Well, if you look below the video, you will see a link to opt in to the 8 strategies that we've been talking about. I'm sorry. And then you can also follow her on her website, go to her Facebook page. I really encourage you to do it. She's also on Instagram, but I encourage you to follow Dr. Holly because she does offer some great advice on healthy living and living a more intentional lifestyle. So thank you so much for being here, Dr. Holly.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun. It's good to see you.
You too.
It was great. So I loved it. Loved it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.